2009 Golf City 2-liter engine. That's the BEV. Zoom in. BEV engine. Bad ignition wire, but you can see the ignition coil is also starting to corrode in here, and it's the original VW. See the VW markings, but in the past I've been saying that the ignition coil is held down by a 5mm Allen. Well, in this case you can see Torx head screws. So don't blame me for misinformation, it's just I wasn't aware. So, you know, as with anything, remove what you have to remove using tools, but using whatever tools you need to use. Simple as that, it really is. Bodgett and Leggett, Leon of Bodgett and Leggett. No need to show you, it's as simple as that. So working on a 2-liter here, doing the timing belt due to a leaky water pump. This would have been a perfect opportunity for electric cordless tools, a Milwaukee 1/2 inch, a Milwaukee 3/4 or 3/8, sorry, and an electric drill of sorts. The impact for wheel removal. Oh, sorry, I forgot the ratchet. Electric ratchet would have been nice. So yeah, you know, Milwaukee, come on, send me some stuff. I make videos, I record me, myself and I working. No better way to showcase your products than somebody actually using them. Reviews are fine and dandy, but let me put them to the test. If you have a hard time positioning the timing belt on the crank sprocket or on the cam sprocket, I usually position on the crank sprocket last. But if you have a hard time positioning it, position the tensioner outside of its seat. You can see the tensioner is not inside the, sorry, it's not inside the frost plug hole. One second. So that gives it more slack, or that gives the belt more slack. So once the belt is on, then all you do is you push the tensioner into the frost plug hole. And then you can tension down the belt and the tensioner. Somebody was wondering about belt tensioner deviation of the pointer. Let me just try to find it here. Focus. Yeah. You know, so it will bounce a little bit. You know, if it bounces way more than that, I would worry about it, but a little skip like that, I wouldn't worry too much about. Sometimes they're rock steady, sometimes they wiggle a little bit quicker. That's good enough for me. And here you can see the vacuum hose that I installed. It's a little bit longer so that there's no real stretch on it, obviously. And I always like to go through the engine support, the eyelet there. You can go under the manifold, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, that's it. All done. Got a $10 tip today. That was a nice surprise. Guess somebody was happy with what I found. Keep an eye out for a for a Touareg second air injection fault code video. I probably won't post it this weekend, most likely the weekend after. I guess somebody else was chasing it, didn't find it, and the fact that I found it, I got myself a tip. Anyways, it's been a while. It sort of caught me off guard. It's always nice to get money. I think somebody once had a question about how to unlock these injector harness plugs. There's a spring right here. It should be self-explanatory in terms of when you're looking at it, but I guess if you've never seen it before, you would never know. So you just push against this clip, and then with your other hand you pull up on this here. Obviously I can't do that right now using one hand, but you push the clip in. Let me zoom in a bit here. There's a clip. You push the clip in, and then you can pull it off. I'll pull it off here and then I'll show you. So you should be able to see these better now. And it's actually the same style of clip that's on the hall sensor. So you just push the clip in and then you pull. You can see same or similar configuration. Push the clip in, and then you can pull it off. Just finished up on that Passat with the PCV 316 136. So I go, oh, that's not bad. When's the oil due? 318. Hey Jonathan, hey Leon. It's winter time, but that doesn't mean that the car needs to look slow with snow tires. This is my latest addition to keeping the car looking fast in the winter time. You guys need to get some of this stuff. Video will be up sometime soon. How to. It's more or less of a time lapse though, but yeah, should look good on the beast. Okay, here's a closer look. For you non-believers, I did put the stickers on the tires, and the tires are on the vehicle. I've already had one incident with a curb. I have to be more mindful now of these stickers on the sidewall. This front one took a bit of a beating. But they're holding up pretty good actually. And I think I'm glad that I went with the bigger 1.5 inch. Smaller one would probably not fare as nicely in terms of curb contact. So there we go. There's an update for you. Vanagon catalytic converter. Complained about power loss. Initially he said his clutch is shot, but obviously it's not a clutch issue. I don't think this thing is worth anything. And he's too cheap for a new one, so we're just gonna hollow it out. No emissions testing in our area anyways, so he'll be fine. Not the preferred fix, but and then we'll obviously have to check to see if it's running rich or whatnot, misfires, etc. To look for a cause. And don't forget to check don't forget to check the muffler before you put the converter back in here. It's the time of the year where I don't complain about Worth products. Giggity. I've been getting a lot of questions recently about valve cover gaskets and where to apply silicone. For the most part, it doesn't matter what engine. Volkswagen or Audi usually recommend putting silicone only around the corners where the bearing caps are, or those half moons. Everywhere else there is no need for gasket material or silicone, sorry. So just at those corners, at those right angles, there and there on this one. Other engines will be similar in terms of having bearing caps like that require sealant. Again, only at the corners. Time for another LED uplight. Time for another LED update. This is my snap-on floor light that I bought 3 years ago, and I made a bracket for it. and I used some bump stops, suspension bump stops, to cushion the light and to have a nice solid connection on a hood, and it seems to work on pretty much any hood that I needed to work with. So anyways, that's it. Still going strong 3 years after the fact, and to those who have been following since the initial build post, this is still version 1.1. There was no need for me to go to a version 2 for this thing. And as you can see, lots of light. A customer phoned me yesterday about his TDI Jetta ALH TDI. It wouldn't start. It cranks okay, but it won't start. If there's anything he could do that he could check. So I told him to check the shutoff flap right next to the EGR, and to see if it's stuck in the closed position. I never heard back from the guy until today. His wife shows up. He goes, "Are you Thomas?" I go, "Yep." So she gives me this. That's a quart of beer, 1 liter. Nice when customers do that. And yes, it was the valve, it was sticking, so I guess I'll see him for a decarb next year. You got to drive those ALH engines a little bit more on the highway. Higher RPM, get that boost up so that the carbon can't build up as easily, as quickly. Flat Rate Master recently posted a video about hacking or hacks to save time. I'm doing a vacuum pump on a 2.5 liter, and the service manual says to move the transmission, and the little trick that Humble Mechanic posted about disassembling the vacuum pump, and then that way you can tilt it over the automatic park lever or whatever you want to call it. Is that a hack or is that a time saver? And to install the new part, you got to disassemble it as well. So in a way, that is a hack, isn't it? What say you guys? Do you disassemble the pump or do you move the transmission?